Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Spruverse, my scale model universe. I hope everybody is staying safe and well. This is part 2 of the ET Mothership build from Yay Monsters, part of the international build I'm doing with Wayne Green at World of Wayne. If you haven't checked him out, please go over to World of Wayne on YouTube and like and subscribe to a great channel with a lot of great content. We're doing a sort of build of the same kit from different manufacturers. These are both resin kits. Mine comes from a company called Yay Monsters. His comes from a company called Golden Armor. And if you're new to the channel or you haven't seen the first episode, please go and check it out. And previous to this on the channel, I did do a couple of unboxings of both kits, so you could see what was in them if you choose to pick up these kits yourself. Anyway, here we go with the second update, and wow, a lot has been going on. I've been painting like crazy, prepping like crazy, wiring like crazy. So let me tell you what my strategy has been. I decided I was going to start with the lamp housings, and there's 9 of those, and this is what they look like. And within those housings is a rim plate and a screen, and I've painted those, and here's a quick video of what I've done so far on those. I have texturized, as you know, the lamp housings, and I'm very happy with that. But the frame around the screens, which I've installed, does not sit flush with the base of the housing, and I think that looks ugly. So what I've done is I've taken out that tester's paste, which is kind of like caulking we talked about, and I'm starting to blend those in, and I'll let that dry, and so they should organically disappear, and then I think these will be ready to paint. Okay, so you can see that I've sort of started to prep them, and nothing really crazy. I've been playing with textures for the outside. I wanted them to be really organic, and I feel like I've got sort of halfway there, but I'm not completely satisfied with what I've got. I wanted them to be a little less perfect in their shape and their sizes. So unfortunately, I don't have in stock something that I've been using from Rust-Oleum. It's a rusting paste, a metallizing paste, which I've ordered, and I'm going to add another layer of it to, I think, to the domes, and get them just a little more patina, a little more not so perfect. So that's something that I'm going to have to wait a few days on. So I started on the lamps, and then I also wanted to start on the feet. The reason why I chose the lamps and the feet is because they're the only parts of this kit that you have to do a lot of construction to. Everything else is kind of just plug and play. So I have completed a foot with its lamp housing, and here's a picture of what that looks like lit up. And you can see I've put just a coat, an undercoat here. Now these have been primed with my regular primer, my Duplo filler Sander filler, which I love, in the gray. And then I've put a coat of the Rust-Oleum iron on it. And just to give it a base coat, and then we'll go from there. This is going to need a lot more work and some washes and everything else like that. But what I was able to do is, as I said, get that light in the leg, and I really like that. And I've actually, what I've done is I've done all 3 of them, and what I had to do was I had to drill through this little piece right here. And let me take this off for you, because this has a little bit of silly putty. And if you don't know about silly putty, have it in your kit on your bench. Silly putty is fantastic for masking small, tiny areas, little holes, little windows, little portholes, whatever it is. It keeps things nice and fresh and clean. My nano chip light is in the recessed lens, and I wanted to put a clear coat over this. Now you could use micro crystal clear, which is a very good product, and I've used it quite a bit. As I said, I put the nano chips in the tops here, and I've given them a lens with this Solares. And this is a really excellent product. It is not cheap. I picked this up by watching a great modeler, Boyd Crompton, Trekworks. If you've never checked him out, check him out. He's a terrific modeler. He recommended this. It's not cheap. It's about $50, but it comes with a little UV light, flashlight. It comes with it. And you could probably do 20 starships with this, I would imagine. And so a little dab over your light, a little zap with your UV light flashlight, and that is solid as a rock, and it's just beautiful. And it conforms really nicely to the edges of this light. I'm going to show you that on PhilCam because it really is quite something. Look at that. Get that in focus for you. Come on. Focus. There you go. Isn't that wonderful? Now, obviously, we're going to put some washes over this, and we're going to do some blending and some painting. But that takes care of the lights in the feet. As I think I mentioned in my first update, I wanted to start with the lamp armatures and the 3 feet, just simply because those were the most intense parts of this kit. Everything else is just sort of pieces of resin that you just plug and play. So the armatures are together. They're going to get several more coats of some metalizer, I think, just to give them a more organic look. And we'll probably post finished pictures of that on my Instagram account. If you don't, that's where I post all of my pictures. It's at Spruverse, and I'll also start posting on my website, which is spruverse.com. But there's not really a lot there other than now they just need painting and weathering. So that brings me to the next sort of part of the update, which is what I'm calling the housing for the feet for it to land on. Now, as you can see, I have painted this, and I'm really happy with it. It's gotten a base coat of the primer. Then, after it got a base coat of the primer, I painted it with Tamiya's gunmetal, the X10, and I let that dry. And after that was dry, I dry brushed it with a 50-50 mix of the Tamiya XF55 deck tan and their flat white. And I gave that a very dry brush. And then after I had done that, I carefully went back over it with a little bit of this, which is rubber black, the XF85, which has a little bit of blue in it when you look at it in the light. Now, all of this is a little too shiny right now. It's going to get a matte coat to finish it. But what's interesting about this is that in natural light, it's hard to explain here, but in natural light, this takes on that sort of whitish look that you see in the actual filming miniature, which I'll put up a screen grab of that right here. And you can see it's sort of taking on a sort of whitish kind of look. And I think obviously that changes in everybody's different lighting conditions. And I would say to you, at the end of the day, I'm not looking to be screen accurate, because I think it's impossible to do with this model. I've watched the film now 3 or 4 times, and when you look at it, obviously the ship is always shot at night or in a very dark condition, so it's literally impossible. Now, there's a couple of guys online who actually went to Seattle to the science museum there, and apparently took some pictures of what they thought was the actual filming miniature. I'm not sure it was, but that's for another discussion. But anyway, I'm very happy with that. Before this is finished, it's going to get a matte varnish to take some of the sheen off of it. Although a little bit of the wet look is not a terrible thing for this craft. I mean, remember, E.T. was a gardener. He was sort of, everything inside this ship was very childlike, and the vegetation was very much like something out of a Disney ride. So, very interesting. But anyway, I think that's really, I'm very happy with that, and that looks really good. Now, as I mentioned, for the door, let me get PhilCam back on here for you. Here we go. There's the door, the entrance, or I should say the entrance. And what I've done is I have picked up a piece of, it's actually for keeping wires neat under your desk for computers and things like that. It's sort of a corrugated plastic. And I showed you a picture of this on my Instagram account. I'll do it again here for those who have not checked me out yet at Spruverse on Instagram. But as you can see, it's just a piece of corrugated plastic. And what I've done is I have, making sure I'm in focus, I've added to the back of this really cool sort of light, this plastic that had a very interesting effect that it makes. It's very, very cool, and I thought it looked very alien. So I'll hold this up to the light, and you can see, isn't that great? So I thought that was really, really kind of fun, and I will put a little strip light back there to light that up. But I thought what I would do is add this to the back of the door, so that when you look through here, and I'm going to try and do this. Not easy to do when you've got fingers the size of mine, and you're not that delicate. But let me see if I can get some light in there. Probably. Oh, there you go. That's better. Let me turn it the right way. Let me see if I can get this shot before the gardeners arrive. Anyway, I think you can see in, and I think that's going to do really well. So I think you can see in here, and I really like the way that's going to look, and so I'm really happy with that effect. Now, full disclosure, just for a lot of fun. Now, in California today, it's 80 degrees. I know, don't flip me off, don't start cussing at the screen, I'm sorry, but it's a beautiful day here in Southern California, what can I tell you? So, while an epidemic rages, we've got gardeners with blowers, these machines, and they come on at random times, only after they've had some general meeting and decided they're going to harass me at all hours of the day. But anyway, that's my own paranoia, and I'm going to stick with my story. Carrying on. So, feet, lamps, paint on the base. I've then gone to the engine housing. I've given this a light copper, and I've dusted it with silver. Now, a gentleman who visited the filming miniature called out some colors, and apparently the engine bell looked to him to be coppery with just a hint of silver in it. So I gave it a coat of my primer, as I always do. I use my Vallejo Air Copper, which all acrylic obviously, because you can put acrylic over enamel. You can't do the reverse because the thinners will probably attack the acrylic. And also, but still, with these things, you've got to give them several coats of a good matte varnish or gloss or whatever your finish is going to be. Otherwise, it'll just come up anyway. Everything here I've masked, and I don't want to pull the masks, but I've got blue and green alternating breathing lights. And I've got 3 5mm whites in behind the red lens for the engine, and so that other than the 3 blue lenses that go in the side here, it's a little bit of a color cornucopia, but you know, I think there's a lot of whimsy to this ship. So anyway, this will drop into the bottom. Now the thing I like about the Yay Monsters kit, and I don't believe this is the case on your kit, Wayne, I'm sorry, but there are little registration pins. So you can see this drops down nicely. This is what it looks like upside down. It really comes together quite nicely. Very clean lines, very finished. I'm not going to need to do an awful lot of light blocking here. And so once these the 3 feet go on like such, that will complete the bottom of the ship. So things are progressing quite nicely there. And you would think that that was good news, and it is to a certain extent, but I've come to a little bit of a roadblock, and that is that I thought, clever me, that I was going to use these 18-inch rotating pieces of beauty that were actually you buy them as a kit for the Jupiter 2, the 18-inch version at Tenor Controls. Ralph Tenaglia, terrific human being, and he'll make pretty much anything for you, and so he may be getting a call from me very quickly here, because this thing of beauty, which also has a regulator on it so that you can actually speed up and slow down the sort of perceived tracking of these lights, and you know, if you turn them over they go one way, and if you turn them this way they go the other way. So I thought I would be clever, get 2 of these, and I would be done with my lighting source for the fan blades, which sit between these two parts of the ship. Now let me put this together for you really quickly. Sorry, I should be doing all of this on camera. I apologize. So you line all this up, and let's see here. Let me find my registration pin. There it is. So you line all this up. Actually, hang on here. It belongs underneath. So there we go. Okay, I'm back with you now. You line all of this up, and then this sits on top of this like so, and that gives you this piece. That gives you the 2 blades. Now, what's really fun about this is the middle separating ring, which has all the hieroglyphics on it, which is called the language ring, the language band. It's the language of this race of aliens, interestingly enough, written on the side of their ship, which I think is very cool. So the language band separates the 2 fan blades, and the 2 fan blades rotate in different directions, one clockwise, one counterclockwise. Now, Wayne, if you're watching and listening, I don't think you have this problem. You're fine. you have a completely hollow section for your blade. So you might have to build some kind of or fabricate some kind of a platform for your lighting to sit on. I, on the other hand, have a bit of a problem. And that is that the housings for my fan blades are separated by these rims. Now I'll show you this on PhilCam. Let me get my video going here. Here we go. Here's PhilCam. So up close and personal, I have got this rim. And what it does is it separates the housing. So that means that I have absolutely no way of lighting it with this unit. Can't do it. I can sit it perfectly in the center here, and I do get some light, but it's not enough brightness, in my opinion, for this effect to work. So I'm stuck. Now, I have several options, and they're all winging their way to me. 3 or 4 of them. I have ordered some LED strip lights similar to this that could potentially be glued around the outside of this rim. And they have a chasing sequencer. It's a 12-volt system. They're not expensive. They're like $12 or $13 on Amazon. But it will require a separate power source. That problem in a moment. But I think that I will be able to control the chasing of these. So I'm going to check that out to see if it actually works. Now, if it does actually work, I'm going to end up having to figure out how to put some kind of diffusion on the inside of here so that when you look through the band, you don't see the lights. And they're going to need to be diffused quite a bit. And there's several ways we can do that. So I'm not terribly worried about it, but it's going to be a challenge. So I'm at a point now where I'm sort of trial and error. Same with the larger band. I've got this very thick piece of resin that is part of the framework of this kit that is going to prevent me from getting a light source on the inside of it. It's going to have to be on the outside. Now, I've also got from Evans Designs this genius thing. It's a nano chip sequencer with 20 nano lights attached to some kind of a built-in sequencer, and they simulate the same effect that these little 5mm do on this plate. It's the same effect, but just with nano chips. Now I've put them in and I've laid them out with tape just to test it, and it's not bad. It's not terribly bright, but it works. It creates the same effect. I can adjust the speed of it, and I did speak to Dave at Evans Design Lighting, which is a terrific company. It's been around for years and years and years on the East Coast, and they do dole houses and they do stuff for trains, just amazing. And between Evans Design and a company called Osnium, we've got no shortage of places to get LEDs that are resisted, not resisted, different colors, different speeds. And there's also HDA Model Works. Jerry at HDA is a really awesome human being. All of that information is on my website, spruverse.com. So if you want to go check out any of those things, they're all there. All those resources are there for you. Anyway, I'm testing that theory. So I've got the strip light theory, the nano chip sequencer theory, the lost in space theory, and the last theory, or the last test, which I don't have yet, is from my good friend Randy Newbert over at Voodoo Effects, and he is a great model maker and a lighting designer as well. And he is supposed to be building a kit for this. Now, I did speak to him the other day, and he is still in the design phase of the kit. Now, I'm trying to cajole him into sending me a test version, which he says it's 5 volts. And after speaking to Lou Dalmasso at Aztec Dummy, another guru and a mentor, he said that there is a very cheap, at the 99-cent store, a plug-in adapter for USB ports that's like 99 cents. So it's 9 volts in, 5 volts out. And that will solve that problem if I have to be on a separate circuit. So I am at a bit of a standstill when it comes to figuring out what my lighting decisions are. So there's a lot more to come on that. I will definitely probably do a lighting only update to let you know what the final plan is. And I'm sure we'll get this sorted, but it could take me a week or two to get it sorted. I'm not as cavalier about the lighting on this as I was. Now, as we go into the dome itself, things were a little easier. What I have done is I have made 9 of these beauties. What these are 3mm warm whites on 14-inch leads. These come from Evans Design, so they were all pre-resisted for me, which makes my life a lot easier if we're going to be on a 9-volt system. And so what I did was I pulled out some 3mm brass tubing. I cut it to the length of the inside diameter of this unit right here. Let me put that on fill cam for you so that you can see that. It's the center of the 3 holes there. And so what I was able to do is push this in. I touched it with just a little bit of CA so it would hold it in, tack it in place, and then I used the solar resin with just a zap of the UV flashlight to put these lenses on here. And I'm telling you, this is fantastic. I mean, it's expensive, but it's a really good alternative to the microcrystal clear. And so what you do is you pass those through. Here, let me do this on the camera here. Yeah, here we go. So you pass this through, and voila, you are flush with, I'll do this on fill cam as well. You are flush with the mounting surface, and those will all be whites, the warm whites. And there are 9 of those. And what I will do is I'll make sure before I tack them in place that they're just countersunk a little bit, because the exterior of that is supposed to be like a chrome dome, it looks like. And I'm going to have to paint that chrome dome, which means I'm going to put a little bit of silly putty on the inside of this, touch up the outside of this so it all looks chrome silver. And I've made 9 of these, and they're ready to go. The outside holes, there are 18 of these. The outside holes are red lights, and what I've done is I've ordered 3mm fiber optic strips. That's what I've done. Now, a cautionary tale here, because 3mm fiber optics, you know, left on strands is impossible to corral and put into some kind of single source. So I won't be doing that. What I will be doing is just cutting off a piece of fiber optic lengths that are about 1 inch, 1.5 inches long, and I will glue those flush to these holes. And then what I'll do is I will put individual red 3mm LEDs that I will attach to each one of these. Possibly, if I can get away with it, I'll put both on one so that there's 9 as opposed to 18. But that's how I'll get the red lights going. So that takes care of the white and the red lights in the ring. What comes next is the dome, and then on top of the dome is obviously the roof piece, which has some lights in it, and the antenna, which does not have any lights in it, although I may put a little chip nano in mine because I can. So the two challenges that I have ahead of me are completing the lighting plan, which I will have done the next time I record an update for you. And the next thing is to prep and paint the dome, which has to be chrome. That is going to be one of the biggest challenges, I think, of this ship. Now, once that is chromed, the lighting plan is complete. We can go to final paint and assembly of this thing, and we will be dangerously close to the end here. Now, I say that very cavalierly because there's probably about another month and a half's worth of work here, if not more. But that's the overall strategy that I'm using for this thing. I am enjoying it. The paint scheme is not as complicated as I thought it was, and I'm not stressing out about that as much as I was earlier. I thought, oh, because I've seen guys painting these fan blades gold. I've told the actual filming miniature. Sorry, I see a bit of schmutz here. Why not clean it up on camera? I've told that the actual filming miniature was a rusty orange. Now that could be because the model is 30 years old. Who knows what it was, was originally? Hard to know. It could well have been gold fan blades. So I may put a touch of gold in there, but I certainly will age it down. And then on the final, obviously the filming miniature, there was a lot of staining and a lot of cool washes that we can put on that to make it look finished. And then we obviously have a base to worry about and how we're going to plug and play this. And the only other thing I'll say for this update is it's going to be a crying shame, but I've got no choice. I'm going to have to actually drill two holes in the base for power, I think. One for my blades and one for the rest of the lighting, but it'll be hidden on the base behind some vegetation at the back of it, so you probably won't see it. And I don't intend to have this actually ever come off its base anyway. So there you go. That is the update from Sprueverse. I'm excited to see Wayne's next update. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of stuff he's done. He's way ahead of me on the electrics. I know he's got a lot of grinding and cleaning up to do, so I'm a little bit ahead of him in that department, but he's ahead of me in others. But it's coming together. It's a lot of fun, and I have plenty else to do on the bench here at Sprueverse. So there you go. That is my ET Mothership Yay Monsters update number 2 in the build series in conjunction with Wayne Green at World of Wayne. Check him out. Thanks for checking in. Please, if you are just finding me, like and subscribe. Be safe, be well, build something, and we'll see you in the next update. Take care, guys.